As a dad with 2 kids in college, I'm watching this one here. I've got some questions. This morning, student loans are once again a concern for millions of borrowers because those collections resume next week.
That's right. And to help get you prepared, and of course to answer some questions that you all have, we brought in the expert, a financial expert, of course, from this is Jeff Sachs from Sachs Financial. Hey, Jeff, thanks so much for joining us. You know, we have tons of questions. Paul, you mentioned this is something that's in your wheelhouse right now.
Yeah. I want to know what it means, what it really means when it starts up here. What are they saying?
So what we know right now is that they've said on May 5th they're going to start collections. It's not really clear what that actually means because the announcement came out a couple weeks ago, and what they said was if you are in default, you should get an email. The problem with that is that a lot of people might not have an updated email address. So we know that the defaults they're going to focus on collecting those, and that affects almost 5.3 million people that are currently in default.
Wow. Now, you brought up that term, default, delinquency.
Right.
We hear these terms a lot, but I don't think we really know what the difference is between the two. Who falls into those categories?
So if you've missed a payment, just one payment, you're technically delinquent on your student loan. If you miss 3 payments, 3 months of payments, they will report that to the credit agencies, and it'll affect your credit for things like borrowing for a home or a car, that sort of thing.
Wow.
And then if you're 9 months delinquent, you become in default. And that's what we're talking about. And so there are a lot of people that are already in that situation, which may have not made payments because this really has not been a thing since 2020. And during the pandemic, they canceled the debt collections. And so a lot of people just put that on pause, hoping that maybe in the previous administration, those loans would have gone away. So now's the time to act. I would say if you aren't sure, there's a couple really simple things that you can do.
Oh, great.
So first off is check where your loans are. If you don't know, call the servicer of your loan or go to studentaid.gov, and there's a dashboard that you can sign into that will tell you kind of where your loan stands.
Wow, that's really good stuff. You know, it's funny, there's a lot of scams, right? I know we weren't supposed to ask about that, but we just keep hearing your student loan, a lot of scams. How do you even know what to do?
I would say if you got an email, they're not gonna call you and say, call us for your repayment, right?
Yeah.
So it's definitely gonna be an email, or you may get a letter. But again, this all came up so quickly that we don't really know how they're gonna enforce everything and what's gonna happen.
Scary. And I wonder, were loans forgiven in the previous administration?
Some
complicated story.
I mean, some were, and then there was a lawsuit, and then it kind of went back and forth. So some of the loans that the previous administration were able to wipe away, there was going to be a increase in what was considered the poverty line, or what they were going to consider for collection. So this administration is sort of changing everything.
Okay.
Right?
Now, before we let you go, I have to ask you about this. We've been seeing this a lot on social media. The threat of the White House or the government garnishing your wages to get that money back from you.
Yes.
I mean, where do we stand with that? And when could that potentially happen? I mean, is this a true concern?
It is. So what they've said is that they're going to send out an email, or an actual, if they're going to garnish your wages, which might happen, that would be the second step. They're going to send out notifications first. And 30 days after those notifications go out via mail, they might start those collections. More likely what's going to happen is they're going to use the Treasury Offset Program, which is to garnish federal wages, federal benefits. If you're on Social Security, they could take up to 15% of your Social Security per month. And if you are waiting on a tax return and in default, that's key. If you're waiting on the return, they could take 100% of that tax return.
100%.
Yep. 100%.
Wow.
But if you've already gotten your tax return this year, they can't take it back. So they'll wait till next year.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
We've got plenty more questions for Jeff. Absolutely. He's going to stick around. Again, in the next half hour, we're going to be right back talking more and answering some more questions because folks need to know what's going on. It sounds like the government's going to get their money one way or another, right? Okay.